Okay, so this is a totally impromptu and unscripted video. What I thought I'd do is just check out the developer portals for some of the major blockchains. So I've got Algorand, Solana and Cardano here, and I've also, for a bonus, thrown in Plutarch. I've literally just opened their web pages up and I haven't yet browsed through, and I'm just going to be seeing what my first 1 minute or so impression is of each site, as from a point of view of a complete beginner, fresh into developing on that platform. So let's see. For Algorand Developer Portal, this is a landing site. Build the future on Algorand. Okay, sounds great. Welcome to the Algorand Developer Portal. Let's get started. Okay, docs, that's not a hyperlink there. Oh, select a category. Okay. Blockchain basics, I feel like I know that, so I'm going to skip that. Smart contracts and dApps, let's click on that one. Okay, what is a dApp? It's a nice little picture here. Blah 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 blah. So I think I know what a dApp is at a high level, but it's good for newbies to understand that. Okay, so I do like how it's just taking you through it step by step. So it didn't even assume that you knew blockchain. So that's geared towards developers, I guess, who are sort of non-crypto developers. You might be a programmer in some other field and you're now curious about developing on Algorand. So that whole, the lake, the pool, or whatever it is that Charles Hoskinson says, the ocean, I guess. So this is attracting the ocean. They'll be coming here. They'll be learning about let's quickly click on this, blockchain basics. Again, I do like the nice little comic book style pictures. Nice and friendly. Why Algorand? Very, again, nice, easy to read. Where do I start? So far I'm liking how easy it feels to get into this. Set up the development environment. Let's click on that. This is always a tricky one. The most used option. It's important to have phrases like that because usually there's multiple different options. It's good to know what most people do. So here it's saying, actually, we're going to show you other things. Well, I'm not sure if it's doing that, but the most used option is this. Just get on and do this. This is what most people do. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so there's a sandbox. I don't know if it's a Docker sandbox. Let's quickly click on it. Blah 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 blah. Algorand, okay, it's a Docker sandbox. Okay, so good enough for me. And some other, so step by step instructions. Seems easy to follow, so that's good. And then I guess, let's see, there's an alternatives version for more advanced development. Okay, nice and easy. 2 different options, basic, advanced. Happy with that. What is a dApp? Build with Python. Always a good way to get people into programming. Launch the application. How's this organized? Okay, so I like this. He takes us step by steps through how to do it on Python. And I do like these little comic book pictures. Build with Reach. I've actually never heard of Reach. What is Reach? Let's see. Okay, I've actually never heard of Reach as a programming language. But yeah, okay, and that's another programming language to learn. With Reach, the automatic verification of dApp alone is one of the great reasons to consider using Reach versus PyTeal. Okay, so it's got advantages over Python. Automatic verification of dApp. Okay, that sounds good. How does it look? Can I have a quick example? Blah 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 blah. Basic. Okay, there's a little example. Okay, so I do like that on this one page. It takes you through everything. I mean, right through to the front end of building. So these are kind of like a basic Hello World app, I presume. But I do like that the single page, both for Python and for Reach, has everything you need to get started and get something up and running all the way through to the front end. Very impressed with that. Okay, and then you get into more advanced things. So creating NFT, security tokens, fungible tokens, again, nice little pictures and so on. Okay, so my quick 1 minute and then get details. Okay, so this is more of a glossary type thing when you want to understand concepts, SDKs. I've got to say, I like their website. I think it's very well laid out. I do like the pictures. seems very easy to follow, although obviously I haven't tried to follow it for real. But it looks good to me. It looks good to me. So I would give this a 10 out of 10, really. Quite happy with that. Okay, let's move on to Solana. What do we have here? Okay, big, well, black background, green foreground, quite in your face. Okay, looks pretty cool, this image. But let's get to the main point. Okay, Solana for beginners, a blog post. Okay, do I want to click that? Sure, let's open that in a separate tab. Getting started with Solana development. Okay, so the blog post. I'm a little bit skeptical if I have to read a whole blog post before I can get started. But let's see. Solana development workflows. I mean, that's a bit cynical of me. You're going to have some sort of reading, I suppose. Solana development workflows. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, so explanation, fine. Okay, explanation, fine. Okay, high level overview. I like that picture. So doesn't feel as friendly as the Algorand site, but okay, fine. It's a nice little introduction. Okay, then big bold letters. I'm ready. How do I get started? Blah 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 blah. Solana. Okay. If you're new, I recommend starting with Figment Learn. Okay, I am new. Let's click on that. What is this? Okay, so a lot more steps here. So it's not like the Algorand page where you had that single page or a couple of single pages that you can just work your way through. Here there's a lot more pages to click on. So as a newbie, I'm like, okay, this is going to be like more than a weekend's worth of work to get started. But let me start on step 1 and then step 2 and so on. So this feels more like a Coursera course, but let's go and see if it's actually true. The Solana pathway has moved to Learn Web where, oh, okay, this entire pathway has moved. What? We no longer host the pathway. Okay, I have to now click on this GitHub. Okay, so that's not good. Now where am I? Where have I landed? What is this? What am I looking at? Do I scroll up? Okay, so GitHub, fine. What is Learn Web3 dApp? So, okay, so now it's starting to lose me. I'm like, okay, I was just trying to learn how to do a basic hello world, and now I'm being bounced around all over the place. So I'm not impressed with that. But let's see. Learn the Web3 stack. So now I have to learn Web3 before I can do a hello world. Is that what I'm being told here? I just wanted to do a simple hello world just to get the basics and get up and running. Get started. Okay, clone locally. We'll use Gitpod. I've never heard of Gitpod. What's Gitpod? Okay, must be similar to Docker, maybe. Oh, geez. Okay, so and then it ends. Okay, so I'm not sure. Let's go back a step. I guess. Let's see. So we had all these steps, but has this entire thing moved, or just this first step? Because this all seems relevant. Okay, so I'm a little bit confused. The very first step tells me it's moved, and yet there's all these other things here that look pretty interesting. But let's go back again. So that was supposed to be if you're a beginner, and I'm already lost. Let's go to the Solana developers page. This looks nice and friendly. I like this. Developer resources, cookbook, good. Oh, I can click right there. Okay, and click left there. Nice. And tutorials. I guess that's where I just came from. The equivalent of a hello world. Okay, and then a quest. Learn how to build by doing these quests. It's like an RPG. Intro to building Solana programs. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of different beginner options here. I'd try. Is it randomly click on any of them in any order, or am I supposed to work in a particular order? That's what I'm not too sure about. Okay, so it's not as easy to work with as the Algorand. The Algorand was much more easy to follow. There was a certain structure to it. You just click through and work your way through. Let's click on this. Programming on Solana, introduction, intro, motivation. Okay, good. The final product was in escrow. So this is showing what the final. Okay, before we start coding, let's look at the final. Always good idea. Tell people what it is you're building before you do it. Okay, so I like this page, I think. Let's see. This is like a bit more like the Algorand page, where it's taking you through things step by step. A little bit of humor there. Always good. Okay, I like this. I haven't followed it, but this is more where I would like, I think, as a beginner, where I just work through a single page and it's all structured. Now, I don't know how good the quality, I mean, what I mean by quality is you know, how easy it is for beginners to learn. Let's have a quick read through, shall we? Let's see. Head over to the template, so you do the repo, okay. So I don't know how this compares to what we saw on the other page about setting things up. You know, that Git, whatever it was that I didn't know about. So it's not mentioned here at all. Entry point, because I don't like headlines like this. This is very geeky. Why don't you give it a proper title as to what this section's about? Not, you know, like a plain English title. Like, what is an entry point RS? What's a program? Well, like, there must be a better description you can give this. First, again, so when reading through this, it just seems a little bit more technical than what I saw on the Algorand page. A little bit harder to get into. I mean, that's not to say I couldn't. You know, I do like learning technical things, but I'm judging this here on just how easy it is to really, for you know, beginners to get started. Okay, so I think I spent enough time on Solana. Overall, I would give this a 6 to 7 out of 10. I like the fact that there are these beginner sections, but when you click on them, they don't seem too beginner friendly. And I'm not quite sure where, you know, am I meant to go in a certain order? And the fact that you wait, this is taking me to somewhere else. Wait, this is different to what I saw on that other. So you click on here and you get to this Figment Learn. That takes you to this little pathway, of which the very first one tells you to go away and go somewhere else. Then you click on this Figment Learn and you get a completely different page. Okay, that is confusing. I have no idea where I am anymore. I'm giving this a 5 out of 10 as a result. It's just too confusing now, I'm afraid to say. Okay, let's click out of Solana. Okay, where are we now? This is still Solana. Okay, close out of that. Close out of that. Ooh, right, now I've landed the Cardano developer portal. Quite nice seeing this nice blue background. Wasn't quite as garish as the Solana page, which reminds me of MySpace. Okay, a bit more pleasant on the eye. Okay, I like these little icons. Get started, integrate, build. Okay, it's similar to what we saw on Algorand, where you had to get started stuff, and then you had some of the more niche topics. Okay, nice. I like it. Operator stake pool. Create smart contracts. Wait, okay. I mean, okay. So now I'm like, okay, as a beginner, I want to create smart contracts. So which one do I click on? But let's click on this. Get started. Okay, this is similar to Algorand, which is like, you know, the basics of a blockchain. What is Cardano? How did it start? To get the most. Okay, good. I like this. Nice and gentle. Why build? Okay, good. I like that. For complete, you know, people coming from other programming backgrounds but aren't familiar with crypto. I guess it doesn't have the what is a blockchain section that Algorand had. So that's probably the only thing. But otherwise, it's good. Okay, not bad. Okay, let's go back. So I've read through that. There's more things on the left-hand side. Cardano components. So I guess as a beginner, I would read this page. Then I would read the components page. A lot of technical stuff here. Ugh. A little bit off-putting as a beginner. But let's have a quick read. Cardano node is a core component. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I've gone from nice, gentle. What is Cardano? Let me tell you about Cardano. Why build on Cardano? To like all this technical stuff. Okay, as a beginner, I'm gonna back away. Installing the Cardano node in Cardano. Okay, so I guess here, you know, it's very rapidly going up the technical curve is the feeling that I'm getting. It wasn't quite like that Algorand page where you had a single page that you work your way through, and it felt like it was a beginner's thing all the way through. And I, you know, perhaps I'm being a little bit harsh, but let's just go back to this. I feel like, yeah, I do feel like the technical curve has ramped up very quickly. Okay, and then this just seems to be a guide with how you get set up rather than a beginner's guide. This does not feel like a beginner's guide reading these pages. I guess this bit's okay. Actually, let's have a quick look here. Still, I stand by my comment. I'm just trying to do a Hello World program here, and do I need to do a Cardano node to do smart contract development? So very quickly, I'm feeling out of my depth. Let's click back. Let's go back. Take me back to the nice, friendly pictures. Where are they? Come on. Here we go. Whew, right. Okay. As a beginner, you don't want to go in there. It's scary. Let's try create smart contracts. Okay. What are smart contracts? Okay, nice. 2 world of smart contracts. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, nice and gentle. But what are the 2 types? 2 world. 1 world which communicates sense of worth from one actor to another. There must be another way to build. Okay, wait. So smart contract type 1 is where you want to communicate a sense of worth. I guess that's value from one person to another. So you want to transfer value, I presume. There must be a representation of that value, okay, as well as rules and circumstances that govern it, as well as trigger event. Okay, cool. A financial contract is what we call it, and it's best done with a domain-specific language. Okay, Marlowe. This world has nothing to do with replacing a big company or this common notion that we might have with dApps. Okay, I'm a little bit confused because of what I know about dApps. With dApps, you can transfer value. That's what all these DEXs do. Okay, in another world, you'd like to build programs, possibly even replace a major corporation. A triangle is formed by these applications. A client is a portion of the program that runs on your computer. A server is a computer that operates, okay, and a smart contract. I don't know, man. I'm a beginner. Just show me a basic Hello World smart contract. This is basically talking about Marlowe. I would have thought Marlowe comes a bit later on. Well, I guess you could argue the purpose of Marlowe is for people that, you got the developers coming from another language and they want to develop. Your developers coming from another field, they're interested in this world. This is what they're interested in. The people that could be interested in this probably aren't even developers, right? I'm guessing they're like financial modelers that are used to Excel, I would imagine. So you've got 2 different audiences there, and I think as a developer in another field, this is what I'm interested in, but it's not really made clear. So that's my little bit of criticism there. I feel like there's 2 different audiences this is talking to. In fact, there we go. We've got Marlowe and Plutus towards the end. So I'd probably just rephrase this a little bit to say, look, I don't know. If you are a developer looking to develop smart contracts, here's some stuff you need to know. However, Cardano also has ways of developing smart contracts without any technical knowledge, and here's how you should know. So in fact, maybe even have 2 separate headers, non-technical and for developers, something like that, just to make it really explicit who the audience is. Anyway, I probably over-analyzed this one page. Okay, so from Create Smart Contracts, now the introduction to Marlowe. Okay, I think Marlowe is good, so I think it's good that you do have this introduction to Marlowe. Let's see the Marlowe tutorial. Let's quickly click open that. Oh, privacy error. What? My browser doesn't trust it. Let's force it to trust it. Okay, this seems good. I like all these little steps. Introduction to Marlowe. Okay, so I think this is good. I just think, and again, I'm not going to go through everything here. I just think you need to be a little bit more upfront on this page for a newbie to say, look, essentially, if you're a dum-dum that doesn't know how to program, sorry, I'm being a bit harsh there, but you know what I mean, then you should probably check out Marlowe. If, however, you are a developer and you want to actually develop smart contracts using code, this is probably what you're going to be interested in. That's what I like about good tutorial, good documentation. It tells you what you're most likely, it directs you. It's like, okay, you're most likely to be interested in this, or you're most likely to be interested in this, depending on your background. Just to help guide you, rather than me as a beginner coming in and trying to figure out for myself, well, which one am I interested in? Because I wanted to build a financial smart contract app, roughly what I'm thinking in my head. Which one am I interested in? And in reality, if I was a developer from another field, I'd be interested in this, but it's not easy for me to figure that out. You're needing me to figure that out when really I feel like you could direct me a little bit better. Okay, enough of a rant on that. Plutus, let's get started with Plutus. Take a look at the Plutus tutorial. I will do, thank you very much. If you want to learn Plutus from the beginning, I do. Okay, using Plutus TX. Okay, tutorial, click. Single Haskell program. Good. Okay, good, fine, yep. Okay, yep. Explaining some core fundamentals, which is important. Template Haskell preliminaries. Okay. Now I know what they mean. I have been on the Plutus Pioneers course, so I have some knowledge of what this means. What are my thoughts here? Template Haskell for 2 reasons. Okay, it doesn't have the nice pictures of Algorand, but okay, let's carry on. Okay, this is good writing. So I think I've got nothing against covering some basics, and it's important. Yeah, I think it's important to have that up front. Writing basic Plutus TX programs. Here's a very shell of a program. Okay, this simple program just evaluates fine, close enough to a hello world. Although, I guess hello world has to have the whole thing up and running. Okay, so I think looking through this, whereas the Algorand tutorial took me all the way through to a working front end, this is really just the back end side of things, and there's a whole bunch of like lifting values. Honestly, again, as a beginner developer, I just get comfortable with having a simple hello world program that I step through and I build myself and I see it working. It just gives me a certain sense of comfort to know that, okay, at least I've got all the pieces in place. Like, I've installed things correctly, I've set things up correctly, I can see it's working, and then I usually go back and iterate on that. Then I want to find out about some of these topics. So here I'm not getting that hello world feel to it. Now, let me just take another look at Algorand in case I'm remembering things incorrectly. I don't want to be praising Algorand if it's not true, but let's go back to build with Python. Okay, let's have a quick look. How is this organized? Launching the application, Docker instance, good. Prerequisites, install, setup, run some tests. So yeah, you see, it just feels easier to follow the smart contract. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Just when I scroll through this, it just seems easy to follow. Set up the auction. It's telling me what's happening. Bid in the auction. So it's telling me step by step what's happening. Now let's go back. So here you see writing. Okay, there's an empty shell here, but then it goes functions and data types. What type classes? It's more like a textbook than a tutorial, I guess, is my issue there. Okay, so overall, I would give it a, I've got to say, 6 out of 10. And I hate saying that, but a 6 out of 10. And again, this is just a quick 1-minute impression. No serious developer would be judging it on 1 minute, and neither would I. Normally, I would actually go through and try and learn and read through this properly, and I wouldn't be so easily put off. So I really want to stress that. But at the same time, I do think making things as easy as possible for developers to get into it is important, and that's why I'm being what you might say overly critical here. Okay, so now moving on to Plutarch. So some of you may have seen the Twitter discussion saying that Plutarch was better for coding in or for coding smart contracts in on Cardano than Plutus. I know Liquid Finance uses this quite heavily. So I thought I would go to the Plutarch docs and see if I could, get my head into Plutarch. What is it? How do you use it? And so on. So this is the GitHub landing page overview. So the introduction section serves as an introduction to Plutarch's basic concepts. Good. Let's click on the introduction. Plutarch is an EDCL in Haskell. What is an EDCL? I've actually tried to Google this. I couldn't find out. A quick 5-second Google. Some other stuff came up. So I don't know what EDCL is. With some caveats. Plutarch is a simply typed lambda calculus. So again, if I'm coming from another field or another language, I'll be like, what? And so very quickly, as you read through this, and I'm acting more dumb than I am. I have done the Plutus course, and I have worked my way through a few Haskell examples. So I do have some understanding of what it's talking about when it says, variable types S::S. But that being said, having actually read through this earlier, it is way more technical. And in fact, even having done the Plutus course, I wouldn't say I fully completed it, but I went through all the material. Even having done that, when I read through this page, I could not understand what he was talking about, honestly. And I really want to learn Plutarch. I really do, because I've heard it's awesome. Now, I think if I actually was a heavy Plutus developer, this would make a lot more sense rather than the very basic knowledge that I have of Plutus. So I think from that point of view, this is probably quite good documentation, I imagine. But as I said, from a beginner's point of view, this would not be what you would want to put in front of a beginner. So if we think Plutarch is the way to go for Cardano development, then we gonna have to get it to the level where it's like this, very easy to follow, step-by-step tutorials. That's what we're gonna have to get it to. So on that sort of ranking, I'm gonna give it a score of 3, I'm afraid. Yeah. Okay, so 3 for Plutarch. Plutus, I think I gave it a 6, although I'm thinking I might be being too hard there. I don't want to give it a 6. Let's make it a 7. Because at least, unlike Solana, it's not all over the place. It does have a structure. And I know it might be structured more like a textbook than tutorial. But the content is good. It's all very useful knowledge that I would very quickly, even if I had done a Hello World program, I'd very quickly want to then go back and make sure I understood these concepts. These are basic concepts, type classes and functions and so on. So these are actually quite important. And it's not all over the place like the Solana one was. So let's give it a 7. Okay, I almost forgot about Ethereum, so just remembered. So here I am on the Ethereum developer landing page, never been here before. So let's take a look at it together. So I like these little boxes here: learn Ethereum development, learn through tutorials, start experimenting, and set up local environment. I guess the only thing bizarre about that is, do I not need to do this before I can do any of this stuff? What's the order that I should tackle these in? I guess is the only confusing bit there. But let's go from left to right. Okay, so learn Ethereum development, introduction to Ethereum. So I've noticed that the other chains did that. Introduction to the chain, introduction to Ether. I won't go into these as I feel like I have a fairly good understanding. Okay, so explaining basic concepts. I like that. More basic concepts. Actually, this is quite good. Just for if you're wanting to learn about cryptocurrencies in general, you probably heard a lot of these terms. It's pretty good. Just click here. Let's click on gas, for example. What is gas? Nice picture. Okay, good. So actually, I think even for people that just want to have a better understanding of some of these concepts, this is a good place to go. Write down consensus mechanisms. Pretty cool. Okay, so a lot of concepts there, but I get it. This first block is all about concepts. Good. the second block is all about tutorials. So let's click on that. Whoa, what? What is this? Okay, let's just scroll down. Okay, so they've got lots of different tutorials and they're all tagged. Okay, some of them beginner. Can I just filter for beginners? No, I can't. Some of Hello World. Not that I can see. Beginner, intermediate, beginner, bin. Okay, so again, there's no structure to it. Where do I go from here? I guess I'll just click on the very well. Let's have a look. Learn blockchain solidity and full stack Web3 development. That seems like quite okay. So YouTube video, making use of the fact that it's probably got good YouTube videos being built. This is quite recent actually, 26th of May. That's quite good. I like things being up to date. Okay, so there's a YouTube video there to watch, which I guess is not something we saw on the other ones. Not that I had a problem with the other ones. I quite liked the reading method, but having YouTube videos to complement or supplement things, I think is a good idea. But I still want to see my Hello World tutorial. I'm not seeing that here. I just want simple, very basic, beginner friendly, let's get started, follow these steps type tutorial. Hello World smart contract for beginners. This looks promising, so let's click on that. If you are new, yes, I am new, and don't know where to start. No, I don't. Yes, good. This is what I'm looking for. Let's have a look. Create and deploy your smart contract using Hard Hat. Okay, connect to the Ethereum. I don't know what Hard Hat is, but hopefully it will get explained. Also, you'll need an Alchemy account. Fine. So I'd click on that. I would do that. Anything else? Okay, so the only prerequisite seems to be this thing here, so I would do that. Okay, so I guess you're going to do it through the Alchemy website. Okay, and the step-by-step, create your API key, create a theme account. I like this. Add Ether. So step-by-step, explaining what's happening. And this is good because as a beginner, I don't even have to follow the tutorial and actually do it for real. I can already get a sense of what it's like to code on Ethereum just by reading through this. Download Hard Hat. What is this? Hard Hat's development environment, compile, deploy. Okay, good explanation. Good, I like it. Okay, no, I like this. This is good. Add projects, write our contract. A lot of this is you only get to the contract writing on step 10. Fine. Connect MetaMask to your project. Okay, how many steps are there? Deploy our contract. Okay, deployed. Okay. Oh, what goes on? Okay. I like the fact it's on one page. It's a lot longer than the Algorand one was, but that's not a problem. I like it. Update the message. Read the new message. Part 3. Okay. And explains why I would want to do this. Anyone can view your source code. Okay. Good. This is actually pretty good. It's a lot more comprehensive. Part 4. Oh, wow. Okay. This is the front end part. Blah, 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 blah. So this is more, I mean, it's quite a long tutorial. I think it'll be more than one sort of sit downs worth of work, maybe one weekend. Does it keep going on? But unlike the fact it has that, this is what I wanted. I wanted a nice, simple Hello World example that takes me through everything. Like this would be good. Like this would be good bedtime reading for me. I would actually read this before going to bed, just so I could get a feel for what it, what programming on Ethereum is like, and then the next day I could get up and actually do it for real. So I like this. Okay, good. Wow, it goes on though. When do I get to the end? My fingers are getting tired from scrolling down. Oh, here we go. So last bits down here were signing our transaction. This is for Etherscan, I presume. Connect update message to the Hello World JS front end, and then make your own custom dApp. Okay. So we learned to connect MetaMask wallet to your dApp project, read data, sign Ethereum. Okay, good. I think this was a good tutorial. It was quite comprehensive, but quite beginner friendly. I haven't done it for real, but I'm just gonna have to believe it when it says that the only prerequisites is this. And just to compare that against Cardano, where you have this setup page here, you got pre-compiled binaries that you can download, or you can go through it step by step. Having done some of this before, I thought Linux really was the best environment. That if you try to run it on a different environment, you have headaches. But maybe things have changed. But here are the step-by-step Linux instructions. There's a lot of things to do here. It's good in that this is much more like a real development. In fact, it is a real development environment versus Alchemy, which I presume is just a beginner's environment and no serious developer probably uses it. So it's good from that respect, but might be seen as a bit intimidating for a complete beginner. And in fact, here is the set up your local environment section of the Ethereum tutorial. So, it had, at the beginning, I said it's got these different sections. Now I'm better appreciating this last one. This is, if you are serious about developing, you click on here after you've been through these sort of introductions over there. And then this is where it tells you about all the different components that you need. So this is where, you start getting into more advanced territory. So it's good. Again, it's a little bit overwhelming for a beginner, hence why it comes, I guess, towards the end of the beginner section. But it is needed information. And, contrasting that, this was the equivalent for Cardano, where I just felt it was a little bit too early, a bit too upfront. I needed a bit more hand-holding as a beginner before you throw all this at me. That's the only thing. But I like this. It seems pretty. It's got pictures and a little description about what each one of them is. That seems easy enough for a beginner to understand. So what score will I give this? I would give this a 9 out of 10. It was pretty thorough, but it wasn't quite as well structured as the Algorand one was. So again, from a complete beginner's perspective, the Algorand was super easy to follow. However, very quickly, I think I would probably find the Algorand one too basic, whereas I did like the thoroughness of the Ethereum developer portal. So yeah, going beyond beginner's level, I would give this more closer to a 10 out of 10, really, for the wealth of material that's on there. Okay, that's it. Do you agree with my assessment? What did you think? Leave a comment down below. And again, just to stress, this was somewhat of a tongue-in-cheek look at these different sites. No serious developer is going to be judging it on this initial 1 minute. But I hope it at least points to the fact that we do need to make things as easy as possible to attract developers, especially developers that are completely new to the field of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, to attract them and ease them into things. The more we can do that, the better. So hopefully there's some learning points there from even a very cursory glance at the different sites. Okay, that's it from me. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up or consider subscribing if you haven't already, or leave a comment down below. Other than that, I hope you all have a great day.